Hi, this is Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathcal.com where I organize my videos by topic. A fraction that contains one or more fractions in either its numerator or denominator or both is called a complex fraction. So below are 5 examples. The first example, we have 3/4 over 5/8, so it has a fraction in the numerator and a fraction in the denominator. The second one, there's an x alone in the numerator, but in the denominator, there's two terms, 2 minus x over 3, so there's a fraction there. And you can see from the third, fourth, and fifth examples, I have fractions in both the numerator and denominator. Complex fractions are not in simplified form. That means we can simplify further so they don't look complex. And there are two commonly employed methods we could use. And these are a quick overview of the two methods. The first method is to write both the numerator and denominator as single terms or fractions. And then you'll multiply the numerator by the reciprocal of the denominator. The only one in the examples above where you already have the numerator and denominator written as a single term or fraction is the very first one. We have just a single fraction in the numerator, 3/4, and a single fraction in the denominator, 5/8. All of the rest of them are not in that form. If you look at the fourth example, 1 over x minus 2 over x squared in the numerator, there are two fractions in that numerator separated by a subtraction sign, so that's not a single fraction. And in method 2, you don't need to have it in the form as the very first example up here. Instead, to simplify the complex fraction, the first step would be to multiply the numerator and denominator by the least common multiple of all the denominators of all the fractions in the numerator and the denominator. In this example, we have a complex fraction, and there are two fractions in the numerator and in the denominator. And I'm going to do this using method 2, which is usually the easiest way to do it when you have more than one term in the numerator or denominator, which means it's separated by plus or minus signs. So that method is to multiply the entire numerator and an entire denominator by the least common multiple of all the denominators in the numerator or denominator. So I see that I have a 5, a 2, a 4, and a 5. So basically you need the least common multiple of 2, 4, and 5. And you could use any method you want to figure that out, but that will be 20. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 20. In other words, I'm multiplying by 20 over 20, right? To get a equivalent fraction. So we have to do the distributive property here. In the numerator, 20 times 2/5. And if you want, you could write that as 20 over 1. That's up to you. Minus 20 times 1/2. And in the denominator, we have 20 times 3/4 plus 20 times 1/5. Now, because you're multiplying every fraction by the least common multiple, you know there will be canceling going on in every fraction, and this is how we eliminate fractions in the numerator and denominator for complex fractions. So, as you can see, I'm canceling the 5 into the 20 to get 4, the 2 into the 20 to get 10. So really I just have 1s in the denominator. I'm not going to have any more fractions there. 4 into 20, here goes 5, and 5 into 20, here goes 4. So what I have then, be careful here, in this first term in the numerator, I have 4 times 2, so that's 8 minus, and I have 10 times 1, so 8 minus 10. And in the denominator, I have 5 times 3. And remember, there's 1s in the denominator, so I don't have to write 15 over 1. We designed it so we're only going to get whole numbers in this case. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 4. So that will give me a negative 2 over 19, and so we write that as negative 2/19. Now you could do this with method 1, but this technique of multiplying the entire numerator and denominator by the least common multiple eliminates fractions as soon as you do the distributive property.